Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's not too often I get to say that one. Usually we're casting in the evenings, but tonight I had a couple hours of free time this morning. Thought I would try and get one last cast in since I am all alone this morning running the Bachelor Life. So I was like, hey, why not throw one more cast into the mix, see what I can find? And lo and behold, I found this epic matchup that just happened a couple days ago between Bronze 6 and Phoenix Rising Zircon. Both of these teams are going to have another match. Their first round playoff match will be against each other as well. So this is going to be hyped up as a preview of what's to come here in the next week or so. My name is Isaacs, and welcome to the channel. I'm going to be bringing you this matchup, and why don't we just get ourselves over to the map screen so we can see where we're going to go. So the thing with replay cast is we don't know who picks maps and things like that. Sometimes we get the people in chat to give us that information, but we do see where the bans are coming in. So Bronze 6, they're banning out Infernal Shrines and Cursed Hollow. Phoenix Rising Zircon, they banned out Braxis Holdout and Volsky Foundry. So we've got a lot of big maps still available and a lot of macro heavy maps still available, meaning we are going to go to Alteric Pass to start it off. One of those big maps that is also a macro heavy map. Not seeing too much team fighting around only really around the objectives and the bosses as the main points you see the team fighting, and often teams gonna sacrifice that first objective, not really put much of a priority in it, trying to get the camps more than anything else. So without any further ado, let me pull up for you the first map and we will get this underway. Danny coming out in chat, one of, I believe, the captain for Bronze 6. Welcome. Enjoy your replay cast. Let me make sure I've got everything loaded up here. We'll get a nice little pause before the game starts so we can look at some of these amazing team comps drafted out by these two teams. Again, we don't get to see what's going with the draft phase, how the draft phase actually plays out, which is one of the most intriguing aspects of the game, seeing how different teams respond to draft picks coming out from both sides. But looks like Bronze 6 got first pick, so this is a map picked by Phoenix Rising Zircon. They wanted to send us to Alteric Pass. And so looking at this map real quick, we've got big maps. We want to find team fighters, but we also want to find people that can also put a lot of pressure in those off lanes, really push out heavy lanes. And so coming out for Bronze 6, we got the Johanna Cassia synergy, which is always a very, very good synergy to get if you're looking to team fight. If you want to get a little bit of an advantage in those team fights, that synergy is going to do a very good job. Chromie going to be able to put the damage down from safely. Doesn't get the most value on a map like Alteric Pass since there's so many wide open spaces kind of deal. Gets a little bit more value with the Sands of Time on those smaller close corridor maps. She can still do an excellent job zoning off one of the entrance points to the objective fights. So usually there's 3 different points of entry for an objective fight. She can basically shut off one of those so the team can kind of expect where the remaining entrance is going to come from. So she does have that, but there's also the possibility of picking up Temporal Loop if the other team does not pick up a cleanse. Meanwhile, we've got Rexar and Anduin finishing out that comp. So we got the Anduin Light Bomb on top of the Johanna. We'll see if it's a Blessed Shield or Falling Sword. And Rexar going to be that bully in the offlane. Going to have a very good 1v1 matchup. Usually Rexar does, is more favorable or seen more on the maps like Braxis and Dragonshire. But Rexar can also do wonderful things on maps where you just want to get a very strong solo laner and have that constant threat of push pressure against. And also he does a very good job with the boss on this map as well, using Misha to tank a lot of it. So can sneak the occasional quick boss on a map like Alteric. We'll see if that happens. So that is what's rounding up Bronze 6. Like it, looking more for the team fight. Meanwhile, on the side of Phoenix Rising Zircon, we've got the Sylvanas and the Junkrat as the main DPS. So 2 champions that can provide quite a bit of damage, quite a bit of burst damage as well. But typically not your biggest threats as far as damage. Johanna, not going to be the most scared. She can get through a lot of what Junkrat is going to be throwing down with his traps due to the Iron Skin. And Sylvanas is not going to be able to shred through Johanna until much, much later into the game. So they can use the Junkrat to poke, Sylvanas to finish off the damage. White main going to do an excellent job at the healing on a single target, so the Johanna Cassia are going to have a little bit of a hard time getting through a kill unless they get a big burst from the Chromie. Mei is going to be the tank. Can't say enough good things about a Mei. Mei just has the ability to put down so much crowd control and playmaking potential, especially with that ice wall around this kind of clustered objective area. And then Leoric going to go against Rexxar in the off lane. Leoric, he's one of the better ones, especially if he can land that Drain Hope, that will be able to deal against a Rexxar. He's still going to struggle a little bit in the early part of that lane, but once he gets that level 4 talent, he should be able to go a little more evenly, at least be able to clear out the waves safely, get that sustained so he doesn't get bullied down too heavily. But he shouldn't be able to get close enough unless he uses Wraithwalk aggressively to get near Rexxar, at which case if Misha can peel, Leoric's in a very sticky situation. But coming out from Phoenix Rising, they're also mostly focused on the team fight aspect. They're going to try and set up the occasional pick with the Junkrat, allow him to poke out and then look to boop somebody back into the backline, or use Mei to catch a sneaky ice wall. So both of these teams may play very passively pre-10, but once the 10s come online, that's where their main pick potentials with the Johanna and the Mei really come online, and they don't have much hard CC outside of that. So let's get this game underway, get these teams introduced real quick. On the side of the blue team, we've got Bronze6. We got Danny on the Johanna, Mark sitting on that Cassia. We got Ferret 102 on the Anduin, Secret 333 on the Rexxar, and we got Kira on the Chromie. Meanwhile, on the red side, Phoenix Rising Zircon, we've got Psycho sitting on that, I believe it's the Mei in the top, Storm sitting on the Sylvanas, Golden sitting on... I'm going to have to double check this when we get in there. I believe that's Golden on the Leoric. Oh, no, it's Solian on the Mei. So that means Storm is on the Sylvanas. And we got Myrier. Okay, hold on. Myrieri. I don't know. I'm going to call it Myra. Myra for short on that white main. So both teams setting up. Cassie going for that common level 1 talent, stacks on the queue. If somebody knows how to pronounce that name, I would be much appreciated. I'm not going to spend forever trying to figure it out, but it's Myra EI? I don't know. Anyway, so both teams going to duke it out here. Leoric looking like he doesn't want any of that. Going to go to the top lane. Meanwhile, Rexxar going to go to the bottom lane. So Rexxar and Leoric not going to go head-to-head yet. Leoric wanting to go against, it looks like Anduin's going to go up and respond to that in the top lane to start. I don't anticipate this lane to stay this way, but eventually we may see Rexxar, move up to the top lane, or maybe they just want Rexxar to be here to assist with the camp pickup as well. TBD. But Cassia going to go against this minicamp. Anduin going to rotate down. Chromie now going to be the one to stay in the top lane. Going to just walk themselves around. Meanwhile, Junkrat going to start off the clear. And Junkrat does have pretty darn good camp clearing potential. White main going to give the assist. Rexxar trying to get the gank onto Sylvanas. Lands a stun with Amisha, but Sylvanas able to just banshee herself away. No problem at all. So this is definitely not going to favor Chromie. She's going to be able to do some damage. She's going to be able to poke from a safe distance, but she's not really going to have any kill potential on the Leoric. Lands the life steal on the Chromie, so he's just going to, as long as he can dodge a lot of those sands coming out, he should be fine. In the mid lane, we got a little bit of scrap. Junkrat is going to start looking to get some of those occasional knockbacks. Danny should not be the one that's caught in any of those knockbacks due to the Iron Skin unless the play is around it. They got that 20-second window that they're looking for, but Rexxar actually rotating up, catches the white main out. Anduin lands the root. Cassia goes in for the follow-up damage, but there's the healing. The white main Junkrat gets the boot back. The pull onto the Cassia doesn't get her in time, and so Junkrat able to get those last few shots, and that's going to be first blood going over to Phoenix Rising Zircon. Junkrat able to secure that kill, but Mei, it looked like she rooted herself, but it was actually the Anduin that did root her there. Just kind of booped herself back into her own blizzard there, and that'll be the end of that scrap in the mid lane. But nice pickup, by the way, for Phoenix Rising Zircon. It looked like there was the potential for the white main to go down, and now we got a gank go down to Rexxar. Rexxar's in a little bit of a bad spot here. Him and Misha both going to go down. Another kill picked up by Phoenix Rising Zircon. Early aggression coming out with the rotations on the Sylvanas. Like to see it. The Mei able to get in there as well. Rexxar just getting caught a little bit too far forward there. Going to go down. So another pickup by Phoenix Rising Zircon. And now both teams getting ready to pick up their second round of camps. Junkrat and Whitemane going to go start their own camp. Cassia getting the ping out. Rexar going to meet her there to get, or it looks like Anduin's going to go there. Rexar's going to go to the bot lane to make sure they're getting soak. But camp's being cleared up by the side of Zircon. The camp being cleared up by the rise of Bronze6. Side of Bronze6, and neither team really starting to focus on this objective here in the mid lane yet. We do see the Sylvanas maybe setting up for Banshees over the wall onto the Chromie. Got to be careful of the time traps there, but Chromie pops. Oh, she popped them, but it didn't hit. She tried to get the hit onto the Sylvanas, did not connect there. Maybe thinking Sylvanas was going to take one more step forward, and so Chromie no longer having those sand traps set up. Good gank coming out from this side of Zircon. Not able to get the kill, but got a lot of the resources off the map. Danny getting a free ride by the Junkrat. Doesn't have to worry too much about it. Meanwhile, Mei in the bot lane, Rexar going to go up against it. And the good news is Rexar is going to be able to survive. As long as he doesn't get this 3-man gank coming down again, he'll be able to survive pretty much any matchup that he's in right now. So everybody that goes against the Rexar, mostly concerned about getting the wave clear. Meanwhile, in this mid lane, Lior coming down for a rotation. Looks like it's just to provide some relief of the pressure here in the mid lane. Tens not picked up by either team. Mei trying to find the pick of the Cassie, gets the boot back. The Anduin has the pull available, and Johanna able to pop the Iron Skin, get herself to safety as well. That 2-man stun looks great by the Mei, but everybody able to get themselves to safety on the side of Bronze6 there. And that's a pretty good amount of resources built. Anduin's got a nice long cooldown there, so if they can find another play around the Anduin cooldown, Mei trying to run herself to safety, doesn't want to go up against a full health Rexar and a fully health Misha as well. But here we go. We still got Chromie and Leoric going at it here in the top lane. Chromie, again, she's not going to kill him, but she's doing a pretty good job getting the soak. Like, not really getting bullied around by Leoric, just keeping her distance, making sure she focuses on getting the wave clear. But look at this. We already got Phoenix Rise and Zircon getting their third camp. And as mentioned prior to the draft, a lot of these teams are just focusing on these camps, not necessarily on this first objective until the 10s come online. Neither team's comp really gets to that. I can initiate the fight how I want to in a 5v5 situation until level 10s come online. So both teams recognizing that, you know, I expect fully that when we get up to these Nexus, this is the Nexus division, this is the third highest division that you can go in the NGS. Kind of that in-between for that high diamond, low master. I believe this is like low master area. And so, you know, gonna be able to do a lot of poking for the team and trying to get the wave clear from the Johanna. Chromie's still committing to this push in the top lane. Going to deny Leoric. Leoric's trying to go get some of that soak in the top lane. But in this mid lane, we've got the Johanna getting a little bit low. Going to have to fully back here. So if there was a time to pick the fight, that would be it. Cassie actually getting ice walled off. Mei going to go and try to find the fight, but the pull on the Anduin is available again. Gets the Cassia back to safety, and now we can go over some of these 10s for both teams. On the side of Phoenix Rise Zircon, we got Mind Control by the Sylvanas going for the pick. Entomb by the Leoric. We've got the Junkrat going with, I believe that's the Riptire. It is the Riptire. Sylvanas trying this gank yet again. The Entomb is down, but she doesn't take the Banshees. Didn't see why, but she is able to get the kill onto the Chromie. But the return by the Light Bomb on the Johanna with the Blessed Shield gets the return kill onto the Whitemane, and now the hunt is on for the Sylvanas. She gets the boss aggro, but she doesn't have Banshees available. So just trying to make sure. Now she throws Banshees out, takes it, but Johanna ready with the Condemn. That means Cassia going to get herself in. 2 kills, 3 kills for the side of Bronze6. Leoric going down as well. So a nice counter gank by the side of Bronze6. You know, the side of Phoenix Rise Zircon trying that setup again. Chromie's like, I've seen this story before. Sniffed it out. The rest of the team was able to rotate themselves up and get the counter gank onto the Sylvanas and Leoric there, getting 2 free kills. So I think it was a 3-for-1 trade all in all. 3-3 in kills. Everything's even Steven right now. The channel is going off for the objective in favor of Bronze6. Let's look at a couple more of these ultimates real quick. Finally, the Sylvanas the Whitemane did pick that Scarlet Aegis, and we do have seen the Ice Wall from the Mei. Both teams, the Entomb actually going down. Leoric catches the Johanna, but she has the Iron Skin, so can walk herself to safety. The Ice Wall does miss. The Light Bomb goes down, catches the Leoric. Mei was in the passive, but a huge Riptire coming out from Junkrat. Hits all members. Misha is going down. All members except the Chromie, but the delay was successful. Junkrat actually landing the boop on Johanna. Didn't have the Iron Skin available, and now Junkrat getting massive value here. Picks up the Cassia as well. That Riptire came in absolutely insane there and put a lot of damage down, and then was able to get the boop onto the Johanna as well with the pack, and that was even another big pickup. So that's a good timing for these kills. Gonna allow a lot of pressure relief in these lanes to clear up this objective. Cassia still 2 seconds away. Johanna just now spawning in. So the team able to clear out this minion in the mid wave, and then we'll rush to the top. Meanwhile, Junkrat gonna try and clear out the bottom wave on his own. He's gonna need a little bit of assistance here due to the fact that Misha is there. He's got to be very, very careful that he doesn't get picked off by the Misha. Misha gonna get rooted out there. Junkrat just gonna put the damage down with the tower. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we got a gank going down onto the Chromie. Chromie uses the time stop on herself, but just gonna delay. She will go down, maybe getting a little too far forward by herself. The rest of the team from Zircon was rotating up to the top lane, and Misha actually getting knocked out underneath the tower as well. So still big picks ups by the side of Phoenix Rising Zircon here. Having a very good early game so far. Sylvanas sitting in the bush, maybe looking like they want to set up another gank. It is a 3v4 situation, so she's not going to really want to commit too heavily. Decides to back off and allow the Mei and the Leoric. But the Rexar did pop the boars. The light bomb did connect onto the white main. That means that white main will go down. Junkrat tried to boop himself to safety, gets a second concussion grenade, and off he goes into the wild blue. Junkrat going to get himself to safety, but a good pick coming in from Bronze6. Didn't, pulled away just for a second to see what was going on in the other lanes, and lo and behold, Rexar, I could hear the boars being popped, jumped back down, and the kill was committed by the side of Bronze6. But let's look at the ultimates now for Bronze6. So much action has been going on. We haven't gotten a chance. Blessed Shield by the Johanna. We got Ball of Lightning from the Cassie. We got the Sands from Chromie. We got the boars from Rexar, and we got that Light Bomb as noticed by the Anduin. But we do have a boss play being called by the side of Phoenix Rising Zircon. Leoric trying to buy time, puts down the Entombs like, hey, fight me, uses the Wraith Walk to get himself slowly away, but this boss is nowhere near done. Everybody rotating up for the side of Bronze6, and they see it. This boss is going down. Leoric's already dead. This is a big play by Bronze6. Light Bomb and Blessed Shield thrown out. Only lands onto the Mei. Mei's sitting there, but Cassia in the backline just shredding with that chain lightning there. Mei is trying to hold the point, but can't. White Main healing through as much as she can, but she gets poked down by the Chromie and Cassia, and so that is 4 kills to none for Bronze6. I mean, it was a risky play. They didn't have the burn as much as they wanted to, weren't able to get the boss down, and Leoric tried to hold on and delay as much as he could, couldn't hold on long enough. Bronze6 sniffed it out, got up there, and made an excellent play onto the boss. So big play coming in for Bronze6. Look at all this macro pressure. We got the minions in the mid wave with Rexar, the boss in the top lane already finishing off the tower, and the rest of the team gonna rotate themselves down, probably try and finish out this mid lane. So what looked like it was potentially a boss pickup for Phoenix Rising turned into a boss pickup and 2 forts, and they're not done. They're looking for more. Leoric Wraith walking himself to safety, but will get himself out. That is a huge pickup, and now this bot boss is available, and this objective is available as well. They're putting the force on the objective because they're like, hey, enemy team just threw with the boss. We don't want to make the same mistake. Let's just get 3 big mini bosses in each lane and push with those instead. Cassie gonna go over, start up this camp, has an excellent timing. We're not really worried about any potential invade since they were still committing to the boss clear in the top lane. So with 4 seconds left, this objective will be picked up by the side of Bronze6. And now Bronze6, for how shaky the early game was starting to look, the mid game is starting to smooth itself out very nicely, looking like they are now in the driver's seat. And as long, they got this half level lead. I believe it was like a level lead for the side of Phoenix Rising at one point. That's now gone. Bronze6 is in the lead, and they are going to push with this minion wave and this mini boss in the mid lane. Now, if you're the side of Phoenix Rising, it's not do or die yet. You can defend Junkrat very well with the defense, but he's got to see if he can get that pick with that grenade one more time. Actually boops the Chromie away. Was looking for the pick, but sent her pack in the other direction. But this boss, getting a fair bit of damage. There's still 3 big minions. Sylvanas isn't going to be able to shred through a lot of that with the Q, but Mei just doing a good job zoning everybody off Leoric, trying to make sure everybody respects the Entomb, so uses the Wraith Walk to be like, hey, back yourselves up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and clear out this top lane now. Meanwhile, the rest of the team of Bronze6 rotating down to the bot lane. Only so far the Mei and Leoric available. White Main is here, so again, the wave clear isn't the greatest. Junkrat now rotating himself down. But this wall gonna go down. Bronze6 gets at least all the walls and a good chunk of this top keep as well finished off. but Leoric does find the Entomb on the Johanna. Johanna pops the Iron Skin, walks herself away, now goes in back, gets a two-man Blessed Shield, or two-man Light Bomb, excuse me. The Mind Control does miss from the Sylvanas, as does the Ice Wall. Sylvanas now having to back herself away. Leoric in very deep, tries to Wraith Rock himself to safety, actually gets away. Whitemane caught in those sands, now walking herself back. Johanna getting rooted out, has the Iron Skin available, but Chromie in the sands is in the bad position here. The whole team is around, but Anduin has the pull available, pulls Chromie right on back to safety, and that is going to be nobody dying. A lot of fighting, but nobody dying yet, but the fight isn't over. Junkrat boops himself way ahead to see if he can find some sort of pick. Does not find it. Misha says, no go, I'm going to stun you out, and that is going to be the end of that. This keep was where most of the value was picked up by Bronze6 there, but they also broke down the walls in both lanes. The bottom keep down to about half health, so at any time they could really hard push one of these lanes and get a free keep. So the side of Phoenix Rising have to be aware of that and have to keep the pressure. But here we go, another boss play. Cassia is on the minion camp right now, so if Phoenix Rising recognize Cassia isn't there, they could collapse on this, but Chromie puts down the sands as basically you shall not come through this area, forcing everybody to rotate through the lane, and now Cassia will be able to get herself down here for this fight. I don't anticipate either team's going to want to take this fight. Maybe we'll see the side of Bronze6 try to bait them into a fight, but Bronze6, they have a lead. They have the lead. The objective's not up for a while. They could just soak and get to the 20s and allow, maybe they're trying to delay to allow their lanes to push. The Ice Wall comes down, but it only finds the Johanna so far. You know, Bronze6, they're just trying to delay at this point. They got minions pushing in the mid lane. They got minions pushing in the top lane. The side of Phoenix Rising going to have to back off, commit to one, and the second they back off, right back on this boss, Bronze6 goes, trying to get the team to stay here. Now the team's coming in. Chromie's got the sands down. They back off. They're like, we don't need the boss. We just want to delay. And delay they are. The entire side of Phoenix Rising, they have to find a commitment, either one way or the other. Leoric's got to find the Entomb, or we've got to go back for the boss and give up the minions, give up this boss. Because if you try to commit to both, you're going to lose multiple keeps. If you committed one way or the other, you potentially only lost one keep. If you committed to the defense, you only lost one keep. There goes the mid keep. The Bronze6 is doing a clinic on how to delay. Now we find the two-man Entomb. Anduin has the pull out. The ball is bouncing, the chain lightning. We do get the stun with the light bomb onto the Whitemane right out in front. Misha gets the follow-up stun, and that is the first pickup. The Ice Wall onto the Chromie, and Anduin didn't delay enough. Now Sylvanas trying to run for her life. Cassia on the hunt, finds some damage, and Chromie dueling this Leoric in the back. One-on-one between the Cassia and the Junkrat. Mei pops the passive and is going to try and get herself to safety. Boops back to Cassia. Is she? The Q does miss, so Mei is going to get herself away. Cassia mounting up, but look at that. 3 kills to none for Bronze6. They're rewarded with this keep, and these 2 keeps did fall during that entire exchange, so this will be all 3 keeps. So what could have been, okay, let's just give it up, back ourselves up, clear out our lanes, and then commit to a boss defense, maybe lose 1 keep. That lack of commitment there coming out of Phoenix Rising ultimately led to losing all 3 keeps and losing 3 members. And so now Bronze6 are like, let's push in for the game here. So, you know, lessons to be learned from that. You got to commit one way or the other. If you don't, the Bronze6 did just an excellent job at delaying this. I don't believe this is going to be able to be stopped. They're trying to get in there. The Johanna is first to fall. The light bomb actually popped onto the Anduin himself, and now everybody's actually having to run. This might be a little bit of an overstay. It looked like they potentially had the boss, or the game, but now they're having to back themselves out. The mind control did miss there, but the unstoppable popped by the Sylvanas on herself, and that means she's going to be able to get herself away. The hunt is on for the Chromie. It ain't over yet, but look at the boss. He's still dying to these minions at 3,000, at 2,000, at 1,000. We do have the Leoric and Sylvanas showing up, so it doesn't look like the boss will indeed fall. Everybody has to back up here. Junkrat going to clear these minions off, so the boss is now going to start to regen, but maybe if they could have kept the Leoric there, the Winions may have won it, but still 3 keeps down. Phoenix Rising up against it, doesn't have a fort yet to their name. Bronze6, they just have to delay. Like, they just have to get together as 5 again and find another fight. Boss is being forced by the side of Phoenix Rising. Bronze6, they're not caring. They're going to go up and maybe start off this objective while the enemy team goes and picks up a boss. realistically, that boss will get one fort, but will not be able to do anything to the keep. The objective starting to be channeled. Leoric is the solo hero defending up against this objective. Gonna have to wraithwalk himself to safety from the Misha stun and the Chromie damage. So that means the channel is going to continue for the side of Bronze6. The boss now finally being finished by the side of Phoenix Rising. They are going to now have to rotate themselves up to this top objective, meaning that the boss will get a little bit of a free push, but as said, it's not going to do too terribly much. Meanwhile, 20 seconds left on this objective, and Sylvanas is now here to try and delay it, but 5 members here for Bronze6. The Ice Wall, not sure what that Ice Wall was entirely for, maybe trying to find the Chromie sneakily there, but the Light Bomb goes down. Mei at very low health. The passive is popped. Passive pop for the Fatal taken at level 20, so Mei no longer has any passive, but the rest of the team starting to spread out. Leoric is here. The Riptire coming all the way in, gets onto 3 members. Chromie getting very low, but the ball bounce is now there for the Cassia. Leoric is the first to fall. Sylvanas sitting very low, but the Riptire got the reset due to the amount of members that it hit. Looking for another big Rip Bomb. Hits onto 2 members, so that means Rip Bomb is available yet again. We could see another Rip Bomb coming out here, or Riptire, excuse me, from the Junkrat, but the channel is going off for the side. Here comes the Riptire, looking for another big Riptire. Gets another one, so he has it available one more time. Mei trying to find the Johanna, but Junkrat now throwing out the Riptire. He's the lone survivor, hits the Chromie, does not have the Riptire available now. Chromie uses the stasis, uses the time trap again, but the concussion grenade gonna finish it off. That's the consolation prize. Junkrat throwing down the laugh and the passive, but that is going to be it. 5-man team wipe for the side of Bronze6, and they will push in and get the core. GG's popping out in chat. Game 1 gonna go over to the side of Bronze6. That kill on Leoric, just a little bit of a consolation prize for the side of Bronze6, ultimately showing a very good mid-game transition, and ultimately that delay in the bot lane. I mean, that was really, that probably 3-minute segment really turned this game around in favor of Bronze6, because it looked like it was a very close back and forth game. Even maybe Phoenix Rising had an advantage there in the early game, but that catch onto the top lane for that boss, picking up that boss, that was a huge pickup there, and then using that pressure to go and create the delay in the bot lane, and ultimately forcing Phoenix Rising to either A, commit to the fight, or B, commit to the defense. Sorry about that, I don't know what I hit there. Oh, I hit the rewind button. We're going back 10 seconds, so you're going to be able to see everything that goes on in these last 10 seconds there. That's what happens when you fat finger. I use my hands when I'm talking. I know you can't see it, but my hand actually hit the keyboard, so we rewound 10 seconds. But anyway, going to that bot lane, that was a beautiful thing to see Bronze6 do. Just, hey, stay here or we're going to take the boss. And Phoenix Rising being like, okay, we're going to fight. And then, oh man, we got minions collapsing on our base. We got to go deal with that. And then the second they leave, Bronze6 is like, okay, we're going to take the boss. And so they're like, oh no, we got to go get the boss. And then Bronze6 backs up and they're like, okay, you know what? You can have the boss. We'll just kind of chill and wait for you guys to leave. And that just delay led for, if the call was from Phoenix Rising to just go back, let them have the boss, clear out the lanes, they would have kept the mid and the top keep. But the boss would have pushed in through the bot lane, and they would have had to clear out the boss with the objective. So, the core would eventually defend it. It would have been a 1 keep loss, and then you play for your 20s with 2 keeps alive. But that pressure that Bronze6 kept continually putting on them, that it's tough in the heat of the game to make those decisions. Like, it's really challenging to be like, hey, we need to do this. No, we need to do this. Hey, we need you back. There's all this communication going on how they're trying to orchestrate this defense on a boss and a lane push. And so Bronze6 was able to use that confusion to just basically get 3 keeps from it. Ultimately, all 3 keeps ended up falling, and really sealed the deal on this game. But looking over, you saw the talents. Looking over at some of the stats real quick, Junkrat was able to put out a lot of damage. I wonder how much of that was those Riptires in that last team fight. Probably a good 10 to 12k of it was those last few Riptires that he was able to pump out in that last objective. But 95,000 damage. I mean, nobody on the team even came close. Sylvanas putting out 35k. Just wasn't able to get as much value out of the Sylvanas. Didn't land many of the mind controls, at least the ones that I was looking at in some of those critical fights. Wasn't able to get them, and they couldn't put the damage down that she wanted to. Typically, we like to see a little higher numbers, so hopefully we see a little bit more damage coming out from the side of Phoenix Rising in the next game to kind of help them out in that regard. But Cassia putting out 58,000, Chromie putting out the 42,000 there. So Rexar actually putting out a surprising 52k. Look at the Rexar performance. I mean, top in all stats except for the damage, and was only behind at 6k. So big play by the Rexar coming out in this game. And that's why I was saying, Rexar typically known for Dragonshire and Praxis, but on maps like Alterac Pass, maps like Cursed Hollow, can be that just I'm gonna win my lane kind of person, and nobody can really kill me, and it's a really devastating thing to go into. And then he has just the chase down potential as well, and the follow up CC. So good game one coming out of these two teams. Let me get that updated. So Alterac Pass was won by the side of Bronze6 there, and we know that this map was now picked up by Phoenix Rising. So let's get you guys back over to that map screen, and I will load up game number 2 and see where we're going. So good game number one. I like these teams. It seemed very, very even in the early game. So like I said, this is going to be a preview of the first round of playoffs for these two teams. If they go all the way to game number 3, this could be a really, really fun series to watch again and pick up in the playoffs. But we are going to go to Dragonshire. So again, I don't know who picks the map. But Phoenix Rising, they got the choice between first pick or map pick. So they are the ones who, Dragonshire could be theoretically picked up by either team there. But let me get this one loaded up. So Dragonshire may see the Rexar yet again, just because, or he may get banned out, which if I was the side of Phoenix Rising, I'd say like, no go, we don't want to see that Rexar again. That thing was terrifying. It did a lot of things to our team, and we don't want to deal with that. But here we go. We got the teams on the map for Dragonshire. We've got Leoric actually taken away by Bronze6. They're going to run the Leoric this game. We've got the Falstad. So Falstad, going to be able to rotate down into a lot of these team up into the off lane to give assistance to Leoric if he calls for it. Being able to have that global presence. So whoever's matching, it's going to be the Dahaka matching up against the Leoric. So Dahaka's got to be very careful that he doesn't overstep too much, and they can get a quick gank on top of him. Dahaka usually can be one of those that can be pretty safe, can get himself out of a sticky situation pretty easily. But the Leoric, the Anduin rolled back yet again, gonna pair off with the Varian because the Stukov was taken away. So this taunt Varian doesn't have the root by the Stukov available, but he does have the root by the Anduin. So as long as Anduin just holds on, waits for the taunt target, they can still lock down. And then what better champion to pair with a taunt Varian than a Tychus who can just shred with minigun and finish off with that grenade. So big pick potential coming out from the side of Bronze6, and also a pretty good team fight as well. If they don't find a fight they like, Falstad can just gust him away, or he may go Hinterland Blast for the Entomb for the Leoric. So we'll see which way they decide to go. But on the side of Phoenix Rising, they have a Tracer. Now, I'm really curious to see where that Tracer was picked up. Was it picked up early? Usually Tracer is saved for like one of those last pick, like gimmicky heroes. And Tracer does very poorly into a taunt Varian. So maybe Varian was the last one picked up as well for the side of Bronze6 there. But Tracer, she has a very, very low health pool, and does not do great into point and click stuns like the taunt Variant, like an Uther stun. Can dodge like those slow animation skill shots, but those hard point and click CC is the big counter to a Tracer, and taunt Variant is one of those answers. So definitely getting countered by the taunt Variant there. But she can still cause a lot of havoc onto this Falstad and onto this Tychus in the back line, as long as she can avoid the Anduin route. Kael'thas is the mage coming out from the side of Phoenix Rising. Overall, a very good champion on a map where everybody has to cluster up on like an objective, over a camp, things like that. So Kael'thas is going to get some living bomb value here. Typically doesn't get as much in the higher divisions as we see in the lower divisions, where everybody just isn't as aware of their positioning. So Kael'thas can get more value there. But the Stukov, going to be a big pickup, going to be able to root down any target that Stitches decides to pull in with the hook there. And the Dahaka going to go up against that Leoric in the top lane, and also get down into the bot lane if the team calls for it, into those bushes, and be able to provide that 5-on-4 switch much faster than the Leoric will. So overall, pretty fun, spicy comps coming out. I'm really curious how this Tracer is going to work into the taunt variant. That's my big question mark for this game. But let's get these teams introduced. On the blue side, coming back, looking for the 2-0 sweep. We've got Bronze6. We got Danny on the variant. We got Secret on that Leor. Kira on the Falstad. We've got Mark sitting on that Tychus. We got Ferret on that Anduin. Meanwhile, on the red side, we got Phoenix Rising Zircon looking to start that reverse sweep. We got Solian sitting on the Stitches. Golden sitting on, I believe that is the Leoric. Everybody's just, oh no, the Dahaka, sorry. Storm sitting on the Kael'thas. Psycho sitting on that Tracer. And then we got Myra, I'm just calling it Myra, on the Stukov. And here we go again. A lot of stacking quests coming out for the side of Phoenix Rising. Gonna get scarier the later this game goes, sacrificing a little bit of the early game there and going for this really cheeky Stitches hook, trying to find something over the wall. Doesn't have the vision, seeing if he can get a lottery ticket. Does not connect, and so everybody not going to rotate to the fight in the mid lane. Remember, they do have a little bit of early game advantage due to the fact that Varian is essentially at this point just a glorified AI. Doesn't really have any play-making potential yet. Varian's waiting for the level 4 to really come online, and the rest of the team gonna kind of sit here and try and delay the rotation. Bronze6, they're looking like they're just content camping out this mid lane, send Falstad down to the bot lane, which Falstad does a very good job in the solo lane, so they're going to commit 3 to the mid lane here instead of the 4-1 and then the Falstad kind of rotating between mid and bot. They're going to keep the 3-man in the mid lane for now and let Falstad clear out this bot lane, just because maybe there's a little bit of a question mark around that Stitches. They don't want to rotate too much and let Stitches get some value with the hooks, so they're just going to kind of sit back and do their own thing. But we do see the Tychus starting off the camp. Meanwhile, Stukov gonna go try and solo this camp on his own. Stukov can beat the crap out of a lot of those minions with that very big hand he's got. But no invade coming out from the side of Phoenix Rising Zircon. We got the Kael'thas coming over to give a little bit of assistance, and now we've got the Dahaka and the Tracer gonna go try and get that health cap. Tracer just gonna start to shred it down. Leoric gonna come down and try and stop those shenanigans, but Dahaka is in the wait. But here comes the rotation. The cavalry has arrived, and this is not good for the side of Phoenix Rising Zircon. Ooh, Tracer took the back. It looked like she was away. I'm curious why she did the recall there. It looked like she had gotten her, blinked herself to safety, and then pops the recall. Maybe she was dodging a skill shot that I didn't see there, but she recalled herself, but the recall went all the way back into behind enemy lines, and the rest of the team was like, oh, hi, we're going to finish off that kill real quick. And so Tracer ultimately does fall, did buy time for the Dahaka to get himself away. And so everything's kind of going back to normal, but first blood going out to the side of Bronze6. Danny going to channel off this objective here in the bot lane. And now Varian, no longer an AI, now a very scary army soldier there. Gets the taunt onto the Kael'thas, but nobody really quite in position to follow it up. The Kael'thas throws down the living bomb, so everybody had to kind of spread out and back off. And so first taunt, not necessarily a kill, but still getting a lot of value down onto the Kael'thas. Tracer clearing out this minion wave in the middle. And now we do have this Dahaka and Leoric. They're both sitting fairly low. Dahaka does land the tongue, and Tracer is here. She's going to be able to cement this kill. So that is a return kill for the side of Phoenix Rising Zircon. But Stitches sitting fairly low. Does have a little bit of self-sustain. Sitting on 6 globes right now. So the more globes he gets, the bigger that he's going to be able to get with that maximum health. The Tracer now looking like she wants to fight the Falstad, getting close to the Pulse Bomb. It gets down to about half health, but Falstad W is able to stay on the Tracer in the long run, so Falstad is going to get value out of that. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Tychus is getting fairly low from the Living Bomb and the Kael'thas burst damage, but Varian, can he land the taunt? The root landed from the Anduin, and that will be a pickup onto the Stitches. Taunt wasn't quite available, had 2 seconds to go, so almost there for the Variant, but they're able to secure the kill anyway due to the stun coming out of Ferret on that Anduin. And now Blue is channeling this Dragon in the middle. We've got the Leoric just sitting in the bush, kind of getting that passive soak experience, not really having to commit to anything. Falstad goes to this mid lane to try and channel off the objective. The rest of the team's just like, hey, we're content sitting in the bot lane. We've got the level lead right now. We just want to keep the experience coming in our favor. We do see the red team gonna go ahead and try and contest this bottom objective once again. They're waiting for their 7s to get online, so they haven't quite got them yet. So the taunt being thrown down by the variant, but nobody really committing on the side of Bronze6. They did not have Falstad, and so now Phoenix Rising, they're pushing in. They're looking to try and contest this with the Falstad, but the objective is finished off by the Leoric, and Falstad's like, thank you very much, this is going to be mine, and that is going to be first Dragon going over to the side of Bronze6. They can now back off this 4v3 situation they got here. So, you know, Varian getting on that, recognizing that he had the objective still channeled. It hadn't gotten back down to half health, and Leoric sitting there in the top lane calling out, hey, I've got this, just stay on the point, and we can get Falstad to channel this off. And so good communication yet again coming out from the side of Bronze6. Tychus actually getting hooked in there, but oh, what a root by the Anduin. Will the grenade be able to finish off the Stukov? It's not available yet, it's thrown out, but it does not connect. Had probably a couple seconds until he could throw the grenade up, but Falstad getting a ton of value here in the mid lane. This fort's gonna go down, and a fort with the first Dragon is an absolutely big win coming out for Bronze6. Usually that first Dragon only able to get like 2 towers in a wall, maybe get a couple little tower or a couple more pressure in different lanes, but you know, typically we don't see the first Dragon getting an entire fort there, so big pickup by the side of Bronze6. You know, Falstad doing about 14 stacks, looking at stack counts right now. Falstad sitting at about 14, 13 for the Kael'thas on the globe, so he's getting close to that magical number of 20. Dahaka only on 3 of 10 for the enhanced agility. The taunt coming in, lands onto the Tracer, but no follow-up means the Tracer just going to blink herself back to safety. The sustained damage starting to come out from the Stitches. The Tracer trying to melt these targets down, but isn't able to find a target yet. Pulse Bomb onto the Tychus, but isn't able to finish him off. Now she gets the punch to finish him off, and Dahaka is here, lands the tongue onto the Variant, but Anduin's like, get off of him, that guy's mine. The taunt down onto the Dahaka. They really don't have the damage to finish off any kill until Leoric rotates down. And Leoric's like, you know what? I'm just going to get the double soak. 10s are now online for the side of Bronze6. We've got the parry coming in from the Variant, Commandeer Odin coming in from the Tychus, Light Bomb from the Anduin. Gust is the choice from the Falstad, and we've got Entomb coming out of that Leoric, and the taunt landing onto the Tracer. Falstad throwing out the Q, does not connect there. Tracer able to blink herself away. They just don't have that silence that you typically want. And big hook and gravity lapse coming out of the Stitches and Kael'thas, but Varian able to pop the parry at a critical time to make sure that Flame Strike, did not cause the burst damage onto the Varian, so he gets himself out just barely. And here we go, another shrine starting to become active for the side of Phoenix Rising Zircon. The camp invades for Phoenix Rising Zircon. The shrine's coming on for both teams, but the taunt landing onto the Tracer. He does the recall, but the recall doesn't go anywhere. Falstad trying to get the poke down, but the camp invade so far not a success. Camp being picked up by the side of Bronze6, and now they're looking to rotate down into this bot lane and see if they can cause some pressure with the camp of their own. Meanwhile, Leoric and Dahaka scrapping it off here in the mid lane. A 5-man rotate coming out from the side of Phoenix Rising Zircon. They don't end up finding that pick that they wanted, so they're going to have to rotate down and contest this bot lane. They don't want a similar situation to what happened before. The Stitches does end up missing the hook there. Stukov puts down the silence pool, but has to back himself away. Anduin actually getting gorged by the Stitches being brought back. Anduin can't pull himself back to safety, but pops the Light Bomb instead. Lands it onto 2 members there, ultimately catching that Stukov, and Falstad was able to finish it off. Dahaka now coming in, but the taunt landing onto the Tracer. Dahaka trying to find a target. Leoric is here with the Entomb. Lands it onto the Stitches. Doesn't catch the Kael'thas, but that is Anduin eventually going to go down in the backline due to, I believe it was a living bomb spread. Now Tracer able to find the kill onto the Tychus as well. Dahaka chasing this Falstad here in the bot lane. Falstad timing that E perfectly to get away from the Stitches hook, but 2 for 1 in favor of Phoenix Rising so far. The Dahaka play coming in big. Ultimately, this gorge onto the Anduin was, you know, what started that entire series there, and they were able to finish off the Anduin in the long run. Anduin actually landing that 2-man Light Bomb was pretty critical there, but now the delay from the side of Bronze6 is on for this objective. Leoric trying to channel off the top while Falstad pokes everybody off of the Dragon Shire, and it does actually work, so that means everybody can back up safely, take a little bit of a breath, and regroup for another 5v5. The 10s coming outside on the side of Phoenix Rising. They came on like right at the beginning of that fight. Tracer going with the Quantum Spike. We got the Pyroblast coming in from the Kael'thas. Massive shove by the Stukov. Dahaka going with the adaptation. And Stitches, as we see, going with the Gorge. Has the Tychus now in his belly. Throws him out, but unfortunately, Kael'thas did not have the Gravity Lapse available. Was not able to knock the Tychus up, and so has to back himself away. Since Tracer committed to this gank in the top lane as well, that means that she was not able to, be there for that burst damage. So that means Bronze6 can go ahead and be the aggressors here in the bot lane. Dahaka going to go 1v1 against this Leoric. I really don't know who's going to win this fight. Dahaka has the sustain, but if the Drain Hope does connect from the Leoric, he's going to be able to heal himself up as well. Right now, Dahaka is sitting very low in the mana pool, so it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that. Actually, in the mid lane, sorry, that's where that went down. Falstad was able to get the kill onto the Tracer. Didn't see what transpired. Must have landed a boomerang on top of that Tracer there, and that means that Falstad is unimpeded for that dragon. Gonna go take it to the bot lane. Another dragon picked up by the side of Bronze6. Kael'thas has to be very careful here because the dragon, if they got behind, it didn't. He stepped a little forward. The dragon could have punted him into the wall there, and the rest of the team could have collapsed with the taunt Varian. Varian now getting himself back. He got shoved pretty far from the Stukov there. And the Gravity Lapse does connect. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we see the Dahaka getting the kill onto the Leoric into the top lane. It's a big pickup for the Dahaka. He can rotate himself down. They may be able to push past this dragon and look for the 5v3, but these are the 3 members you want out of the dragon if you're the side of Bronze6. The taunt Varian able to get himself to safety. Anduin's got the pull, and Tychus can just bob and weave himself to safety, or run and gun himself to safety. But Dahaka is coming in. The call is made. They are trying to push in. They don't have the Leoric available. He is in the Wraith form. He is rotating down, but we do see the Gorge going down onto the Falstad. He does have the E maybe available. Gravity Lapse is going to make sure that doesn't happen. Dahaka in the backline. Stukov, look how far Stukov is up. Dahaka, can he burrow under? He may have already done so, but Anduin getting pulled all the way back by the Stitches. Big hook by the Stitches there. Tychus going down to the Tracer. Now Tracer starting to get the value that we were looking for out of a Tracer. Gonna just get this continual damage down on to this Leoric. He's trying to Wraith Walk himself to safety, not able to get there. And now Tracer can find the next challenger. It's going to be Varian, but Varian getting pulled over. Oh, the hook onto the Anduin. Huge play by the Stitches there. And Phoenix Rising getting a 4-for-0 play there. That's a big play. They're losing in the macro game, but that is what they needed to get themselves back into this game. Stitches coming in with some critical hooks. I believe he hit 3 in that fight, and Tracer able to get the aggression around the taunt of the Varian, recognizing, okay, the taunt's on cooldown, I could be a little bit more aggressive, get onto this Tychus in the backline, get that kill, then I can get over to this Anduin, or sorry, the Falstad, get that kill as well. Ooh, that almost hit from the Stitches, but the clank means that it was the water fountain, not the Falstad, that did get hit. But ultimately, this is a camp steal, and now Falstad actually being eaten and going to be thrown out. The tomb landing onto the Kael'thas, but everybody is here. The Silence Puddle going down to make sure Falstad can't E himself to safety, and that's going to be another kill coming in for the side of Phoenix Rising Zircon. Showing a little bit of signs of life in this mid game. So, this is pretty much what happened in the first game, except in reverse now, although there wasn't the macro presence. Bronze6 was a little bit behind in that early game. Phoenix Rising had the better early game, but Bronze6 ended up getting those few fights that really got themselves back into the game and then ultimately won the game. Now in this game, the story's reversed. Bronze6 had an excellent early game, but Phoenix Rising now coming out and showing a little bit of signs of life in this mid to late game. The hook does not connect. Anduin, a little scared for his Tychus safety, does use the pull, so that means a big cooldown by the Anduin. And ultimately, the rest of Phoenix Rising going to have to try and get their first objective here. We still see this scrapping going on in the top lane between the Leoric and the Dahaka. Leoric does not land the Drain Hope, but still putting down a respectable amount of damage onto the Dahaka. Meanwhile, the taunt on the the taunt onto the Stitches there in the bot lane, but no follow-up really there. They're having a little bit of difficult time in this bot lane to land that combination there. Don't really have the follow-up, which I thought they were going to have a little bit better of a time with. We've cut the Leoric, casting the Entomb on the Dahaka in the top lane, but Dahaka, one of those slippery characters, has those bushes available, so can just get himself around and to safety. Falstad now pushing out that mid lane. The rest of the side of Phoenix Rising is now committing to this fight, but Falstad has rotated himself down, now going to be able to commit, and he's getting a little bit of soak value in the top lane. The shove does not connect as well as we want. This fight is still going on in the top lane. Dahaka is able to get himself away still, but the Light Bomb now being committed in the bot lane onto the Stitches. That's where the focus is going. Tychus trying to get this Tracer off. Tracer throwing down the Pulse Bomb as well, and the Pyroblast being thrown out by the Kael'thas does not land onto the Tychus, gets the Unstoppable pop, and the pull onto the Varian means that is going to be the end of that. Stitches in gorges that that Falstad there. The silence is going to go down. That is going to be a pick on the Falstad, and that's the combo they've always been looking for the side of Phoenix Rising. Tracer gets rooted out, pops the recall, and now has to get herself in a position to push this advantage here. The channel is completed by the side of Phoenix Rising, and now they can just get themselves to back out. Actually, Leoric coming in, gonna land a big entomb here if he has it available. There it is, but gets the Kale Toss in the on the other side of that entomb, so the rest of the team was there available. Leoric, Tychus able to get the stitches. The return kill onto the Leoric is there. I thought they were going to get a lot, like you could see the three lined up. I thought they were going to get a massive entomb there. But the rest of the team just not quite able to finish off the kills as much as they wanted. Stitches, you know, sitting on 27 stacks, was able to get himself up, but that light bomb is going to secure this kill, maybe? Danny's like, I really want this Tracer to die, but unfortunately, Tracer able to get herself slippery away, and that means that that is going to be another kill for Phoenix Rising, and now here come the Dahaka. This is a bad spot for Bronze6 to be in. Tracer going to be able to finish off the Tychus. Anduin going to go down as well. 2 kills picked up by Phoenix Rising, and Falstad now has to get himself away. So once again, 4 kills for Phoenix Rising. They're looking really good. They've had a couple shaky fights, but ultimately looking really good here. And now they want to go get this minions instead of going for the dragon here. Interesting call. I mean, the minions, they get a little bit of XP. They're going to get them to 20 faster, but I thought getting this objective would be their main priority and push it in this bot lane. But now Leoric able to get to the top lane, finish off that channel, and the rest of the team going to go just play for 20s. At this point, 20s is what the side of Phoenix Rising Zircon is looking for, and then make a play around those stitches. If he can find another hook, he's looking for it, throws it out, does not connect. He went fishing, did not connect, but here we go. 20s now online, and Falstad in a very rough spot. The massive shove, that is going to be one dead Falstad. See ya, buddy. And that is going to be another pick for the side of Phoenix Rising Zircon. Good pick. Falstad maybe getting just a wee bit ambitious, not recognizing the 20s were online. And that is going to be the objective now channeled by the Kale Toss, meaning Dragon is picked up by the side of Phoenix Rising, and this is going to be a big Dragon without the Falstad alive. They're going to get a lot of value in this bot lane. Falstad still dead for 35 more seconds. This fort already done. The Dragon should rotate down for the keep. Beating up a wall a little bit. It should rotate down for the keep. Still picking up the fort. I don't know. I thought this dragon would just have walked on by with the siege minions in the bot lane and put the dragon into the bot keep. They pick up the fort, and now it looks like they're trying to put the pressure in the mid lane. Interesting call by Phoenix. Okay, now it looks like the call is go to the bot lane. So they've wasted a bit of time. Falstad is now available for the defense, so it is going to be a 5-man defense, so he can just gust everybody away and they can burn the dragon. So I thought with the Falstad down, they're immediately going to go to this bot lane, use the pressure advantage they had. The light bomb actually onto the Tychus, but he has to get himself away. Dahaka looking like he's trying to find some sort of pick. The taunt going down onto the Dahaka, gets himself underneath. The Varian is getting knocked away there, but now look at this. The dragon just isn't going to be able to push in as much as he wants to. Varian actually getting pulled all the way in. That wasn't the target that they wanted, but the tongue connecting from the Dahaka anyway. The tomb does miss onto all members, but the root does land onto the Dahaka. He does not have the burrow quite available. Should be up here in a couple seconds, but the taunt going to be able to connect there. Now the burrow is available. Dahaka goes underground. We do see the unstoppable popped out, and ultimately the dragon goes down. No keep is found. Varian again, the target that is hooked in. That's not the target that they want. Stitches is hooking, but he's not able to find the one that he wants. Now going all the way and going very, very deep here. The taunt thrown down by the Varian. Falstad coming in, gets a continuous gust going in, and everybody's stuck right under the keep. The keep's going to get some big value. Big gust coming in from the Falstad there, and the Stitches and Dahaka both going to go down. Tracer needs to get herself away, as does the Kale Toss. I don't believe Kale Toss is going to escape. Varian's on his mount. He's going to come in with the taunt. That Kale Toss is probably going to die unless Dukov can come in with a heroic shove. Falstad is available, lands the slow as well. The silence going down from the Stukov. Tracer going to try and delay this Falstad. Actually, the Pyroblast, they're looking for their turn kill, but Kale Toss only able to get about 3/4 of the Pyroblast channel, not able to get the final one, and that means now it's a 5v3 in the bot lane, and Bronze6 is like, dudes, let's go. We've got a lot of advantage with the 5 members alive. It's only the Tracer. If they can find a pick onto the Stukov or the Tracer, it's going to be big. I mean, Dahaka and Stitches are still 20-something seconds on the death timers. I don't believe this is going to be a core call, but it may actually be if they can find one more pick. So they get the fort. They are going to back off. Okay, so that's exactly what I thought they were going to do, but if they could have found a pick, it may have been the core call. But that's exactly what Phoenix Rising should have done with the Dragon. Like, immediately, they had the advantage with the Dragon. Send it bot lane and try and get your picks bot lane with the Dragon instead of focusing on what is going to give them absolutely no value here in the mid lane. It doesn't set up a win condition, but bot lane does. So a little bit of misplay with the macro play, but that's why we watch replays, we learn from them, and now, you know, Phoenix Rising, they'll be able to, next time, if this situation rises, they'll immediately go to that bot lane. But here comes the variant, finds the taunt to the Stitches, and Tomb goes down. Tychus is starting to shred, but he's got a lot of health to shred through. Anduin landing the root. Here comes Falstad. The light bomb going to secure the kill, and that is just a lot of CC thrown down on the Stitches. Stitches is a very, very, very big boy, but unfortunately was not able to survive all of that. So that's a big, big pickup for Bronze6. They get a kill onto the tank, meaning all they have to do is really channel this objective and this objective. They got the keep, so that means their win condition is in the bot lane with the Dragon. And if the side of Phoenix Rising can't contest either of these objectives, that will be game. Dahaka trying to channel it off, but nobody was channeling for the side of Bronze6. They're actually rotating up to try and set up a pick play here with the 5v4 situation. All 5 members are around. Tracer very low, but is able to get herself away to safety. But this means the objective will be channeled by the variant, and now they can go back. Dahaka going to burrow himself down to the bot lane to interrupt the bot lane. So they are doing a very good job delaying, although Kael'thas a little out of position there, gets himself to safety. It looked for a second that that could be a pretty drastic situation. Anduin is here. Dahaka lands the tongue, was like, oh man, I got a couple mother members here. I don't want to deal with that. Putting on his dancing shoes, just kind of trying to delay. I don't know actually what he's trying to do here. Use the bushes, but now the taunt variant is here, and the lockdown that we saw onto the Stitches going down to the Dahaka. I thought he was just going to run away right here, you know, get to his team. But ultimately, Dahaka does go down. Tracer going to get the counter channel in the top lane, but without Dahaka available, I mean, Falstad is going to be able to get up there. And we just have to, we're playing Ring Around the Rosie right now. Tracer has to get, oh, the big taunt. That is not where Tracer wanted to be. Varian is able to scout it out. I'm not sure why Tracer sat in the bush, maybe looking for Falstad to come check it. But the longer they waited, the more she had to realize that the rest of the team was coming up. And so that is 2 kills now for Bronze6. So a little bit of faltering here, maybe a little bit of fatigue coming in for the side of Phoenix Rising. And these siege minions are going to make sure that this shield is already gone by the time the Dragon arrives in this bot lane. So Dragon Knight pushing in. Looks like they're going to try and push through middle instead of, maybe the Dragon's just using the middle since the wall's down as just I'll just pass right by because the shield's gone. Yeah, Dragon's just going to walk on by, be like, forget that keep. I don't need it. Anduin actually getting eaten up by the Stitches, but the Dragon is the focus that needs to be done. Look at this core. It's melting here. The light bomb onto 2 members. Kael'thas getting gusted away. Anduin actually surviving the Pyroblast, and that is going to be GG's. Game number 2 going in favor of Bronze6. I mean, you love to see these kinds of games where it looks by all intents and purposes to be a very, very competitive game. Both teams going back and forth there. Bronze6 ultimately coming out with a 2-0 domination victory there, but it wasn't like a dominant victory. They played very well on Bronze6, had a very, very solid second half of game 1, but this game 2 was very back and forth for both teams, and so that's just going to show that this playoff matchup that's coming up in a couple days, I believe, between these two teams again, is going to be an amazing one to go and watch. If you're able to sneak on over and catch this game, it's going to be a very, very back and forth matchup between these two teams. I believe Bronze6 is the number 2 seed going into that matchup. Phoenix Rising is the number 7 seed, but we know when playoffs come around, seeding really doesn't matter. It's who comes away with the victory at the end. And looking at some of these stats here at the end, Tychus able to put down 94,000 damage, gets the value off the very high health Stitches, so that minigun, I'm curious if he went the bigger they are. Should have. Yeah, he went bigger they are. Just going to help him shred through the Dahaka and the Stitches that much faster, and then utilize the Falstad to finish off that burst damage there, instead of going like in the rhythm or the increased attack speed. Increased attack speed really didn't have much value against the team that he was going up against. Bigger they are, definitely going to be the one that gets the value. So good pickup from the Tychus there. Falstad, yeah. I mean, looking back on the replay, the biggest thing, question mark to me, was that Dragon call from the side of Phoenix Rising. I think if they just rotated down with the Dragon to that bot keep, they may have had potential. with the Stitches hooks. If he could have found a hook and a gorge while the dragon, everybody was trying to focus down the dragon. I mean, when you add that dragon to a keep siege, it becomes a little chaotic. Everybody's like, do we focus down the heroes behind? Do we focus down the dragon? Like, where do we put our focus at? And Stitches, can use that chaos to try and find that hook onto one of those targets. And if they could have found that pick, that's another 60-second death timer with a dragon siege. I think they could have potentially, they would have gotten the keep, bare minimum. But if they found another pick, they may have potentially ended the game there. So, things to learn for sure. Definitely a fun series to cast. I enjoyed it. I'm so glad I got to cast on this Wednesday morning before I had to run in to work. Still got 2.5 hours before work. Maybe I could throw another one down, but I do have to go get something to eat as well. So that's where I'm going to end this cast. Let me throw it over to talents so you guys can see the talents real quick. While I give my little promo. So thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Gonna be casting some live ones now soon. This was my last replay, I believe, of the week. Tomorrow night, I'm casting a matchup, Division A West between, I believe it is Lurk Patrol and who's Lurk Patrol playing? Can't remember who Lurk Patrol is playing. Minion Miners, I think Minion Miners. Not entirely sure who they're playing, but that's going to be a Division A West series tomorrow night, and then looking forward towards the weekend, I'm going to try and pick up a couple of these playoff matches as they continually get scheduled. A lot of them haven't been scheduled or were just immediately picked up, and I couldn't pick them up while I was at work. So I'm just going to keep my eye out, try to grab some of these playoff matches. The main ones that I'm going to focus on this season, where I spent most of my time, is Divisions E, Division C, and Divisions A are the big three. I'll try to sneak in. I did do a couple heroic divisions. I've casted Bronze6 a couple times this season, I believe. Phoenix Rising. I don't know if I casted Zircon yet, so this may have been the first one, but the main ones that I casted this season were E, C, and A, with a couple Nexus divisions thrown in as well. I think I said heroic division, but I meant Nexus division. Every time I try to cast a heroic, they canceled on me. And I did get a request from NyQuil the bread team is what I like to call them, the team of bread, that he wants me to pick up one of their games as well. So I should be able to pick up a couple Nexus Division games. But for today, that is it for me. Have a fantastic rest of your day, everybody. Not night, but rest of your day, everybody. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and I will catch you here tomorrow night for another NGS matchup. Take care, everyone.